I want to thank you guys, and I'm probably just gonna try to listen in because I'm too unstable. But I really think um, visibility and marketing our chapters is really important. And so, Adam, carry on for me. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Donna. And I'm really just going to set the stage. Tonight we're talking about marketing, and we've got 4 presenters that will share their different perspectives and experience of marketing their chapter. I think we all can agree that in today's world, social media, in particular, is so noisy and loud, and the challenge is breaking through the noise, and finding your audience, resonating with them, and growing your supporters, your volunteers, your donors, and your beneficiaries. So that's the stage is set, and I think our first speaker is going to be from the Birmingham chapter. Is that Debbie, correct?
It is, and Kimberly will also probably can add a little more to it as well.
Wonderful.
We had tried to possibly even get Jace, who is our sort of our media guy, to come on board tonight. I don't think he was able to. But with our social media, I mean, it's a critical part of our putting ourselves out there on our Facebook and places. Every time we have a fitting, we obviously take pictures, we take videos, we ask the family's permission to share it and ask them to please join and be a part of the Facebook group and to share that with friends and families in hopes of encouraging donors and sponsors to get on board when they see the impact that it has through just a simple picture of the joy it brings to the parents. And then we always do, we had a triathlon recently, which I know was highlighted in the magazine. And that was a lot of fun, but just trying to find unique ways. And Jace does such a phenomenal job with the videos. And Kimberly can allude a little more too, because she does a good job of keeping that Facebook going and posting every time we do our fittings and things. So Kimberly, you want to jump in there?
Yeah, I was sometimes around the holidays or for a special occasion, I'll do a video, and I use Canva. And Canva, if you are not familiar with it or don't have an account, you can get a free one being a nonprofit. And that is the tool I use to put together anytime I post, and it's not just pictures. And over time, we also have a Facebook group that is more for, or the intention was for it to be parents to be able to interact with each other. But a lot of times we use the social media to announce we're having an event or anything going on in the community as well. And the videos that Jace does, he'll do one maybe of a fundraiser we had, or kind of a testimonial from families. And we will not only post those to the website and Facebook, but also there's a lot of our donors aren't necessarily on Facebook. And so we'll send them a text with a link to the video just to kind of keep them, you know, on the forefront of our minds and them to feel connected to, so they can see how their resources are helping kids and families and veterans.
The testimonials have had a big impact on some of our larger sponsors, our supporters, because it hits home when they get very specific about their child's disability, how it changed their family dynamic to become a family that's outside riding bikes now, and in a lot of ways how it therapeutically changed their lives with their child getting stronger and that type of stuff. So we have found the testimonials to have a real good impact on our media part of it as well, especially like Kimberly said with the donors.
And if you log on using the computer to birminghamambucks.org and scroll down a little bit on the homepage, there are some of the examples of those videos. So if you want to see one, that's a good place to find it. But if you do it on your phone, it's not necessarily on the page. So
And we're trying to, on that particular webpage, we're really working to get, because it's on there at the bottom, but we want our sponsors and our donors and that type of stuff to be able to go on to, because they're not really interested in some of the information that's on that webpage. They're interested in seeing visually what our bikes are doing, and how they're changing lives and that type of stuff. And so if we make it readily available at the very top of the webpage, we feel like that would be a good change. And granted, I was not prepared to talk or say anything tonight, but with Greg being where he is right now, he thought he was going to sit in, but he went and had all of his pre-op stuff done today. So he decided to sit it out. So just keep him in your prayers.
Oh,
Thank you.
and another good resource could be if there's new chapters, or maybe there's a chapter that wants to kind of revamp their webpage. I went and talked to a college professor here, and that's a marketing professor. And so she put a group of students together, and their project was to do our website, redo it. So it was a semester-long project that we worked with on it. And it is a lot better than what it was before. So, but that was a free
Wonderful
way,
idea.
because
Yeah.
websites
Great idea.
if you're gonna hire somebody, because I would not be able to build one from the scratch, but they're very expensive. So I mean, it saved us between $8,000 and $10,000 of quotes we were getting. So there's help out there. And plus, then they get to know what Ambux is as well.
True. I think that's a great point, what you've made about the college.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different schools around different places, and that might be a resource that not too many of us have tapped into. So, great. You're muted, Adam.
Sorry, question for you, Kimberly and Debbie. When you said you had parents that aren't on social media and you send them links to the videos. Are those videos on your Facebook or on YouTube? Where are you
They're on
posting
YouTube.
YouTube links? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when I spoke to Greg earlier today, he said he uses a lot of those videos when he goes to see the bigger donors. And that $100 check can often turn into $1,000 or $5,000 check. So it sounds like the videos are a very strong marketing point.
Definitely.
Are there any more questions for Debbie and Kimberly? Thank you very much for your time and your insights. Next we have Elizabeth from Rocky Top.
Hi everybody. So we are a newer chapter. And so kind of one of the things I was going to touch on was just kind of how we're using marketing to get going. And we're definitely still in the beginning stages of that for sure. Like Kim was saying, Canva has been huge, and it was especially awesome that we could get it for free. Like starting out, there was, no money. So to have Canva and to be able to kind of build a brand in this program, we were able to upload all of like the colors for Ambux, and then our logo, the font that the girl who designed our logo, we were able to pull that into so that we could kind of keep things cohesive. I used that quite a bit in the beginning to make posts about various things because we didn't have pictures of kids yet, of our own kids. So that's been huge. You can make videos, you can do animated little things, you can just do straight posts. I even did a Christmas card on there and then sent that out to all of our donors. That was real cute, that kind of played on like trikes and Christmas time. So Canva has definitely been a really big piece for us. I think the other thing is our Instagram, and then linking it to our Facebook so that we kind of don't have to do two posts. We can do one on Insta, and then it pulls through to everything, including our website. And then I feel like the biggest thing we've used there is like reels and trying to use the trendy videos and songs to kind of put our own compilation of either pictures or videos together. That's gotten us kind of the most interactions and shares from people. So I think those have been the biggest things. Right now, we do have a partnership with one of the local like ice cream places. We actually have a give back tonight, so I'm gonna probably sneak out and get ice cream a little bit. But they've been also posting on things for us, so we kind of have had this dual relationship there where they post about us, we post about them, and have kind of built a relationship with a group in the community.
Elizabeth, can you talk about how do you find the trending songs or ideas? Where do people go to find those different trends?
I mean, I'm sure that there's a better place to go than what I look, but I get on Instagram and look at their reels, and then, you know, they give you suggestions and I'll kind of rifle through there. Or if you're on Instagram, you can like save a sound bite or like on a reel that you might see, and then you can make your own. So that's kind of how I've done it. Like I said, I'm sure there's a better way to do it, but so if anyone has suggestions.
Sharon, other questions for Elizabeth?
I just had a comment. I wore a Rocky Top Trikes t-shirt to Hanger Clinic last week, and they were just like, "What's that? That's cool." So the logo is definitely drawing some attention.
I have loved our logo, and we've had a really awesome lady design, and then we've actually got a couple new like revamps to put on some shirts and some other things too. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
I wore mine last night at our board meeting, and then my granddaughter stole a couple of mine because they liked the design so well. So I got to order some more.
It's a good shirt. It's comfortable
It is.
too.
I loved it. Yeah, so we used Bonfire for that, and that was helpful to get started. I don't think I would recommend using them long term because the prices of the shirts are so expensive, and we only got maybe, you know, like $5-10 per shirt. So the amount you pay for it versus what we got, but it was definitely a good start, and the quality of the shirts have been great. I mean, yeah, there's so many people in the Knoxville area that have them. The place that I work, we've got lots of therapists and, you know, patients and families that will wear them in. So it's kind of fun.
I have a question.
Mhm.
So is that one of those where like you put it on Facebook or whatever, and then like I could be in Illinois and order one?
Yeah. So we have, I created they call them campaigns. And so then I shared that people can click on the link, and it's still open. It like restarts, I think every 21 days, like after someone has bought a shirt. So yeah, if somebody was to buy one tonight, it would run for 3 weeks. And then whatever, you know, however many they had, they would ship them out, and then it would restart. Mhm.
Interesting. I never knew how that worked.
Yeah, it's super easy. And I mean, the first time we did it, I mean, we made a decent amount of money. I'd say as it kind of continued on, the interest like trickled down. And again, they're expensive. So people buying like multiple, it's a lot, but definitely initially it was a good way to start.
I think another form of visibility that you guys are pretty strong at. I mean, you mentioned the ice cream social or event that you're going to have tonight. I saw you did like a bike safety event. Like it just seems that you're taking those, and it could be a smaller opportunity, but you're trying to be really visible in the community.
Yes, that's a huge piece. I think it helps that we have a lot of therapists. I mean, my day job is a physical therapist. So I have some of those connections that we're trying to build with like the local hospital here, and some, you know, different organizations in our community. We're working on a partnership with one of the occupational therapy programs in the area, and they're super excited. And kind of like you guys had touched on about like using marketing students. I'm excited to see what the occupational students come up with, because they're super creative and are really eager to get going. So yeah, I'm very excited to see what that partnership's going to look like.
Well, thanks for taking the time to be here.
Thank you. All right. Next we have Janelle from Music City Trikes.
All right, thank you. So I've been a part of Music City Trikes for about 4 years now, helping with the social media team, and definitely been assisting along with our former president, Ashley Schilling, and the work that they have built up to this point too. So a lot of what I'm trying to talk about too is encompassing all of what they have done prior to even me helping out with too, which has definitely built up this enormous network of things that we have going in the Middle Tennessee area too. And I think that's due in part in the fact that we kind of were the only chapter in that area for such a long time that there were a lot of different opportunities to get started with a lot of things and build that network prior to Rocky Top Trikes being made and now one in Chattanooga. But so as far as our social media platforms, we definitely use Facebook and Instagram. Facebook is our longest standing one that we started a long time ago. But we also use our Instagram in conjunction, kind of much like Elizabeth said too, we have it linked to our Facebook. So a lot of our posts are going to be the same on both platforms, especially regarding our events and our number pictures. So we make sure that we're trying to keep those consistent too, so we can reach a lot of different people in a lot of different platforms too. Just based on there's different demographics, so maybe who is seeing the Instagram posts more often versus who is on the like Facebook page. So trying to keep that in consideration when we're posting there as well. As far as the differences between how we use Facebook and Instagram specific, we've definitely built a lot of partnerships over time too with different organizations and companies, schools in the areas. So we follow their pages in addition to them following us, and we do a lot of like reposting of their posts, whether it's in relation to bike specific things or something that we did with them, or just general things about mobility and independence and something that we can all relate to that promote our same mission too. So not only helps their mission, but then also helps us to kind of like broaden what we use our bikes for and what overall we want to promote as well. In addition to kind of helping other people see other places too that may be doing the same things that we are as well, and kind of broaden their interests and everything too. Same thing with on Instagram. We've done some reels here and there too. Have dabbled in that as well. I can't say I'm probably as good at it right now. But there's a option on the homepage of your Instagram page where you can save stories that you make. So, and you can also categorize them and name them. So I made one a long time ago, but we didn't have as many events after that, but it was for a spring giveaway that we did. So I not only posted the story in real time, which again, I think is helpful to have stuff kind of update even while you're doing the event, because then people will tune in and kind of pay attention. But then afterwards, it allowed me to save that specific story so that it's at the top of our page and it's labeled as to what we do. So obviously you can do a whole lot of different things with that depending on what kind of events you host too. So you can have those things saved and archived on your page, that if someone's just checking out your page besides pictures, they can see exactly what you've been up to and get those live feeds immediately going on there too. The stories options also give you some more flexibility with interactions too, with being able to do like polls on things. You can do like meters, you can do FAQs on there so people can type in questions anonymously and you can respond on them. So sometimes people will kind of go on a like live type Instagram feed and do a live Q&A, but you can also save those types of stories too. We haven't done as much of that too, but as a consumer of social media myself too, that is something that like I've seen a lot too, just to try to engage people more often too. And I believe you can do similar things on Facebook as well too, with the live kind of stories feature. That's a little bit newer to me, so I haven't like seen how that's set up as much. But I do see a lot of those, and I tune into other people that have posted those types of things before too. And you can post reactions to things and all that same kind of thing as well. So we definitely started to use those a little bit more with like our bigger giveaways, and starting basically like a like a live feed of those events. That way we can not only hit a market of people that maybe can't attend those events, so they can actually tune in and watch them be happening live. We're like going around to kids being fitted, keeping into account ones that have signed consent forms and everything too. So we have a list of that to make sure while we're doing that, we are, being conscious of that as well. But then that way you kind of get a very like real time, up and close personal view of kind of what an event looks like, from the setup to the background to then the actual event and the kids and the joy you can see just like throughout the whole event and everything too. So that's been kind of fun too, to kind of dabble in that way too, of really, bringing people into the event with you. So you really know like what it is on that level of that too. So, in regarding those events too, with Facebook specifically, we've done a lot of paid marketing, that will produce ads for our events. And you can kind of set it to whatever type of, whatever type of investment you're willing to put into that kind of marketing for things too, because you can toggle a whole bunch of different types of demographics and settings in terms of the proximity to your area that you want to hit, the types of demographics of people that you hit to, and specialize it in that way too, so that those kinds of ads are popping up to people and reminding them of your event and stuff too. So a lot of ours have in the past have gone out to people that follow us too, and maybe their friends and stuff like that. In the event that like we share the event post for itself, that way people can RSVP, they can see what the event is about, and maybe they may not like go to it, or they have, a rider that's in it, or they know someone, or they can be like, huh, that's interesting, I wonder what that is, maybe I can check that out. So we definitely haven't like gone necessarily like totally public with some of them too, but our bigger events in Christmas have been our biggest ones. So we definitely make that one of our biggest things that we promote, and are kind of constantly posting about it too, just to keep it consistent, but then also have our followers engaging in that and reminding them. And then we've had it to be a very big event for us too, consistently, which has been really helpful in the past too. So as far as just marketing in general for us too, like Elizabeth already mentioned, like pairing with an ice cream shop and stuff too, and keeping things local. We've definitely built a very large network of different companies and schools and other organizations, which you've been very lucky to have in the Nashville area too, because there's a wide variety of different types of places. But we've looked into like Belmont University, they have a PT program, an OT program. So we've talked to those students about, doing different service projects and, reminding them of the scholarship and stuff too that Ambucks provides, and trying to engage them as much as we can. And we've had a lot of success with that in the past, which has been really fun. But then even kind of trickling outside of the Middle Tennessee area too, we have partnerships with Kiwani clubs, Rotary clubs. They are always looking for really good service projects to be a part of, and have been so generous in donating money to bikes and building them for us. So in that kind of partnership, we always make sure that we thank them in posts that we make about them too, because that not only helps them, it helps us. So then people see visibility from them, they know what they do, and then they know what we do too. So it's nice to have that kind of exchange then of like developing that partnership, because that can create a big ripple effect for us too, and for them to be kind of branching out from there too. Because I myself live up in Clarksville, which is about 45 minutes north of Nashville, and we have a Rotary Club up here that has been heavily involved in building bikes for us, and always requests, when can we sponsor a bike for a Clarksville kiddo? When can we be there to help build them? Because they'll build the bikes for us as long as they ship it like to us and everything too. So that's been really helpful to be able to like take a lot of different types of organizations, because there's people out there that want to help too. And it's just a matter of, broadening it to that we can find those type of people as well. So really our biggest tip too is just constantly posting, and as much as we can, whether it's our own posts, sharing other people's posts, so that people are reminded of what we do and who we are. even if like right now our chapter specifically too isn't as heavy with our bike giveaways, but we are definitely still involved with Try My Best Triathlon, which is sponsored by Vanderbilt Children's Hospital. They have them throughout the year, so we'll donate some of our bikes so that they can be ridden. And then we are there to check them and then also tell people about those bikes. So lots of opportunities and stuff like that too to take advantage of, which has been really fun to see it from this perspective too as well, and see how much that has rippled out from here and there.
Thank you, Janelle. Really good tips and advice. Are there any questions for Janelle? She went through a lot of really cool cool tools.
Yeah, I have a question. It sounds everybody has talked about doing a lot of great things. How much time does this take you?
Me specifically, it depends on the type of event too. So if I'm not able to attend an event, usually we have someone taking pictures there, and they will send me pictures in terms of what to weed through, make the number pictures, and stuff along the lines of that. I share my duties with our former president and then some other people that are on the account, so that maybe if they're at the event, they can post those live feeds. But they have left more like my specific duty is the number pictures, because I have a certain app that I use in addition to Canva that has already a preset like template for me. So I just like plug in the picture, change the number and the name, and then save it, and I'm good from there on too. And the one that I use is like, oh man, I need to look it up again. It's like GoDaddy Studio, which I had never heard of, but our former president, she had talked to me and she had used it, so then I just use that same template too. So, but to answer your question in terms of time period, if it's like a big event, then it'll take me a little bit longer for sure. So I work full time as well, and finding time sometimes to do that on a weekend, maybe like a couple hours or so. And that's with the help of them too, kind of weeding through all the pictures and making sure so I try to get them up within like a week or so of the actual event. Just so people aren't waiting for that too. But if I get a little busy or it's holiday time too, it may take me a little bit longer. But usually we'll kind of we'll post sneak peeks if we know it's going to take us a little while. Just post a couple pictures here and there and be like, hey, stay tuned for these pictures coming out here soon. So it's kind of like a, hey, hold on, like we're working on it type thing. But like people get really excited about that too, because they're like, oh, I forgot about that. That's so cool.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Sure.
Thank you. So you're talking about your Facebook and your Instagram. Do you have somebody else who manages your website? And do you have somebody else who also does a newsletter? How do you manage all of the different entities?
Yeah, so there, as far as managing the website, I myself I don't have access to that too. That wasn't part of like my duties. Our president and her husband did, and they managed it from what my knowledge was too. I know that they worked with someone to get it built. And I don't remember how periodically they updated it too, but it was at least once every like, gosh, 1 to 2 months, at least, I think, with new changes and stuff that coming up to, or if we had an event, they definitely would change it after that too. So there was a lot of posting definitely going on with like COVID changes and stuff too that we had to keep up into, but I myself didn't like mess with all of the website specific stuff too, because I was more of all the social media part of it too. So I'm sorry I don't have this much information on that part too. I need Ashley Schilling here to tell me all about that.
I think you're very passionate about doing the social media. I think that's just kind of coming through. I'm excited to see what you guys have coming down the pike. You touched on this. I think you all do a beautiful job telling the story from beginning to end. And I love specifically the pictures of the builders who have the signs that say, I'm building a bike for Bobby. Because I think when people see that, it kind of gives the other side of the mission, like, yeah, this is who we are and this is what we do when you see a cute kid on a bike, but we also need people to be involved. And I think that's just a really great way to get people talking about your chapter and what you're trying to accomplish. So kudos.
Thank you for recognizing that too. We try to make it, very personal in that way that it starts from that into. I know specifically I got a bunch of my family members roped into it too, so they have traveled down from Illinois down to Nashville to build bikes. So it's been really personal for me too to kind of watch that happen.
Well, thank you, Janelle. Next we have Annette Wiseman from Mountain Metro. And she has screenshots that I have to share. Yeah. So let me pull those up.
Okay. I tried to be prepared, y'all. I don't know how to do all this, but I knew he would. So, yes, thank you. As most of you know, we try to do a summary of the year and we turn in activity reports and things like that. So when I started doing the Facebook for Mountain Metro, I started trying to find, the insights, the analytics, who's seeing what. And this was the review of this past year. And I come from a marketing background, so many moons ago, I looked at all the different various platforms that are available to us, and Oklahoma is definitely a Facebook state. So that's where I always focused and centered in anything that I needed to get out as far as information. And I know you can link it to an Instagram, but I'll be honest with you, I don't want to learn something new. This is about as good as it gets. And I did bring some numbers that were prepared for me by our secretary just to look at. So this is this past year. And do you have the other one as well? There you go. Yeah. So here you go. With the reach and the number of unique views that are taking place. And then you can compare it to other nonprofits. When you look into the insights on it's called the dashboard, the back, what's it called? The professional dashboard on Facebook. And then you can go in and click on insights, and then you can click on all insights and set the date parameter and get this information for your Facebook page. And so for this past year, we had 56,000 reaches, and those are unique views in the year that we were measuring for. Of course, Facebook is very popular with women. Mountain Metro, we are very lucky. We're all ladies and we kind of have a good time with everything we do. I think that's our mission, is to serve and have a good time while we're serving. I did get some numbers, as I stated, from 2021. I asked our secretary for the number of new members that came on board each year. So in 2021, we had 20 come on board. 21, 22, we had 24 new members. 22, 23, we had 11. And then this past year, 23 to 24, we had 33 members join. And to me, that was fantastic. Matter of fact, we would look around our room and go, there's a lot of new people here. Who are they? And we were like, can we get name tags so we can figure out who's everybody's name when they're coming into lunch? And because it just seemed like a massive growth spurt that we had. And our president says, many hands make light work. So we have new people. They're very engaging. They want to be participating in whatever we're doing. Now, as a hobby, I'm a photographer, and most of us probably have a phone that has a camera on it, which makes it so convenient at events, at lunches, at presentations, wherever we're at, we can snap a few pictures. And I take a lot of pictures. I do them at our luncheons that we meet once a week at 12 o'clock on Tuesdays. If we do an event, if there's something fun going on, a social of any kind, everybody takes pictures, and then a lot of them send them to me so that I can get them on as quickly as possible to our Facebook page. Wendy had once mentioned that she had gone to lunch and pulled up our page, and she said, this meeting just started 8 minutes ago and they've already got pictures up. So I laughed. But I felt like, and I kind of spoke with some of the other ladies, if we are a social group of ladies and we have friends in other groups, book clubs or the dog walking group or the dog park, and we have mentioned AMBUCS to some of them and they're like, oh, I don't really know what they do. But if they see that you've tagged their friend on a picture and they go, oh my God, look, she's having such a good time. And we really do try to have fun, whatever we're doing. And if their friends start to see, oh, look, they're having another get together, or they're doing this, or we're doing things that don't necessarily cost money. We went Christmas caroling to a couple of our AMBUCS sisters who were homebound in a nursing home. Didn't cost anything. We went and supported the veterans to carry a flag for 24 hours around our veterans home. It didn't cost us anything, but those that wanted to participate came out and did it. And it was very well received in our community. And so that's, I guess, how we get the word out. I was also asked to show the coloring book that I did. I don't know if y'all, oh, it's probably not gonna see it. Can you see it? No. Anyway, I did a coloring book and I sold the pages, and someone asked me to tell you, to print one coloring book with a printer was $2.50. We gave them away. We did not sell them. And all through the book, it mentions different things about AMBUCS, such as wheelchair ramps or scholarships, and of course the trikes and bicycles, and everybody wanted to be a part of it. I've already got people who want to be in the next one. And it was $100 to sponsor a page. They get a little bitty ad on the top or the bottom, wherever it works. And they've been very, very well received in the community. And it's a great way for everybody to learn a little bit more about AMBUCS. And
What?
that's it.
Zoom meeting.
I'm sorry?
Let him in.
Who did you use to print the coloring books? Was it someone local or?
Yes. Red
Okay.
River Printing. And we printed 600 of them. And if you, of course, it was $2.50 for the book. If they had to ship them to you, I'm sure there'd be a shipping cost, but I'm sure you'd get a great deal if you wanted to do one as well. And they're great to hand out. To events we do, we ring the bell for Salvation Army in front of a store, and children walk up, we hand them a coloring book. They're so surprised to be getting something just for walking in with mom or dad into the store. That's it.
It's such a cute idea.
Thank you.
Thank you, Annette. We talked a lot about social media tonight, but we should not forget some of the other marketing tools at our disposal, like your coloring book, the old-fashioned writing, your paper. Try to get an article in your local newspaper. Send in your stories. Social media is just one piece of the puzzle. So, although important, but we shouldn't forget there's other ways to get your message out.
Right. I don't want to say I've made good friends, but a couple of the news reporters here at our local station have been very kind and said, Annette, please let us know when you're doing something again. You know, we want to come out. So I do. I tell them, or I say, come to lunch. It's my treat. Come see what we're doing today. And so they come out, and I feel like they're more tuned into what we're doing that way, rather than having to work and go cover a story. You know, they kind of come out. And as you know, the one in North Carolina, when they were talking back to the desk in Raleigh, the lady was crying. She said, I want to be an AMBUCS. I want to be an AMBUCS, because she was hearing this story for the first time on how everything worked. So I think it's up to us to get the word out to everybody as much as we can.
Can you briefly share that story for those that don't know?
Oh, right. So the important part about the coloring book was the goal was to sell sponsorships, pay for the printing, and then everything left over we could put to taking a name off of the national wish list. And so that was my goal. Because when I first heard about the national wish list, I was like, what's that? Never heard of that. And started looking, I was like, well, let's get a name off of that list. And so we did. And after I sold all of the pages, and I will tell you that I had like 3 pages left, And I posted it on our Facebook page. I said, I've only got 3 pages left. And boom, boom, boom. People were like, I want one. I want a page. I want a page. And they were gone. So they're very easy. They sell themselves. They sell themselves. I promise you. Anyway, so then when we got the money, I started looking to see where are we going to take a name off the national wish list. And one of the first ones I saw was from Hope Mills, North Carolina. And that is where my best friend in the whole world lives. And I was like, it was a God moment. God was like, we're going to make this easy. This is what we're going to do. And it happened. It was too easy. And now, of course, Debbie is out in North Carolina. She's has formed her own chapter for AMBUCS. So she's got her hands full at the moment, but she is definitely all about AMBUCS. She's loving it.
Thank you for sharing that. Just one last question for you. You brought up your page analytics. How do those inform your post, or do they inform the content that you create, or are you just doing that as just to know?
It doesn't really have a lot to do with the content that I create. It's mostly for reporting numbers. I usually print out one of the reports and give it to our president at a board meeting, so she has it. I know this sounds silly, but it's kind of like, I want y'all to see I've been working. I've been doing.
Sure, no.
This is what I've been doing, so y'all can see what I'm doing. And I love using the planner. The planner on the back end with Facebook makes it so easy. You can schedule out the whole month. I know you asked somebody else how much time they spend. I usually dedicate Sunday evenings to doing what I want to do on Facebook. You can see the holidays that are coming up. You can go ahead and make advance posts for that. If you have an event coming up, something in the community, and you go, hey, let's do a reminder to everybody. They want to go to that art show at the gallery, and one of our sisters is actually one of the featured artists. So let's remind everybody about it. And so I kind of plug things in along the way of community. And it's incredible how many people love the pictures, like them, comment, share them. And it's all about that algorithm. Everybody knows that an image will get you higher up in the algorithm than a regular text post. So make a cute picture, go find something pretty that pertains to your community, like ice cream. Maybe you do a couple of posts about an ice cream cone or whatever they've got up for art, and it relates to what they're doing. I love ours mostly because it's all women. And so we're like girl power, and we support each other. We're empowering, we're supportive, and we genuinely care about each other. And I know the other groups do too, but ours is really special. I'm just saying. Anyway, that's just us. And I love doing the Facebook. We do have someone else, Dee, who does the newsletter. She's fabulous. I think she's on right now. And I think everybody has bought into the idea that we do a greater purpose here, but we have a good time when we're doing it. And it's really a lot of fun.
Thank you, Annette.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any more questions for Annette? Okay. I think that is all of our.
I wanted to
Go ahead, Donna.
I just wanted to mention, I thought people don't say anymore, but
I didn't catch any of that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Donna.
Yeah. I was going to do a plug for the magazine. Adam does a really great job every quarter getting that out for us. I think he's really smart about the ways that he brings articles together. Specifically, this issue, pages 22 and 23. Like, there were so many great news stories. I know Cliff's chapter, ETX, is featured in that. The Hope Mills kid that the Mountain Metro gals helped take off the list. Yes, sir. 22 and 23. There you go. I think it's fun to read about all the visibility that our chapters have done. So, and kudos to Adam for pulling all of that together. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for mentioning, for
And thank you
mentioning
on
that.
the magazine too, if I could there. I took
Mhm.
the article that Gordon, I guess, submitted on our Great Plains Region Conference and went to the inbox.org, pulled up the link and emailed that out to our host hotel and my boss and other places to kind of highlight what Edmund did for our Great Plains Region Conference. And it was nice to have that link and just send it out to them and say, we're on page 9. And I'm looking forward. I did that right before I left tonight at work. So I'm looking forward to get a reply on that one. So thank you. It was great. They look great.
That's great to hear.
I have a message from Donna.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
she said, she wants to mention to remind everyone about the PSAs for the radio, PSAs, radio, TV, if you can get them, different interviews. Wear your logo wear. I have an Ambuck shirt on. This one's from Tyler. And
good.
then, yeah, thank you. So they also did like a parade with their inflatables. You've seen the inflatables that the Ponca City Angels wear at times, and they've actually kind of made a habit out of it, and people are always looking for them. She said she was at her fireworks stand and people came up and said, you know, I heard you on the radio. So it's a great way. And I know the Danville Ambucks, we were doing our Challenger baseball, and we actually made TV. We didn't call them; they just knew what was happening from our Facebook page, and they came over and videotaped my sister giving away the award. So every little bit helps. All right, and that's the end of what she said.
Yeah, you got it. I have full bars again, maybe for 2
Oh,
seconds this time. So thanks for relaying my messages. And thank you, all of you guys, for sharing. You guys did a great job.
I second that. Thank you everyone for your time and your knowledge. This has been recorded, so this will be on the hub in a couple of days. So please share it with your chapters and your community. And thank you again for your time.
Great job moderating tonight. Thank you.
See you in Tulsa.
I felt like there was so much
Yes.
material here that, you know, it'll be out there. We might be contacting some of these speakers and saying, okay, can you slow down and, you know, piece it out for us so we can figure out exactly how to do it? Because I'm telling you, wow, I was blown away with the new things I learned tonight. So thank you very much.
Yeah. I don't- Hello.
Hey, Sister Carmela.
Hey.
Hey, Carmela, the eye of the hurricane's right over your house right now.
Oh, God, it's been sirens all day. What do you mean?
Oh,
Cover
well,
up.
I'm sitting here, I've been waiting for all the trees to blow into the house. They're about to have been over double.
I'm waiting
Are-
to hear how many of my Christmas lights came out of the trees.
Oh, my
Guys,
God.
be safe out there.
We will.
See you tomorrow, Nanette.
Thanks.
or,
Bye,
Annette.
everybody. See you in Tulsa.
Night.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Take
see you
care.
in
Bye-bye.
Tulsa.
Good night.
Thanks.
Good night, guys. I'm gonna end it for all. Here you go.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
I'm trying.
Bye.